World of YouTube, Tearful Sight here. Some very bad news. I was in Worcester tonight, and I watched this. Looked like a jet stream, but mind you, I did not catch it. My damn phone wasn't recording. But you can believe it or not, and someone stopped literally on the side of me and asked me, "What do you think that is?" And literally, I followed this thing, and it looked like, once again, a ball of light. And it looked like a jet stream. But, oh my fucking God, I can't believe that the damn thing literally was over my head, and I had my phone out, and I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. And when you know, that damn thing disappeared. And just like in 2016, when I caught that other big bright ball of light flying through the sky, went into the moon, never came out the other side. I should have took pictures, but I thought I was recording. But also, I mean, even if I did record it, the phone was blurring bad for some reason. It was doing some messed up crap. But other than that, there was something in the sky tonight. Well, this evening, that was earlier, but oh man. I can just imagine if it was in a UFO. But unfortunately, I didn't catch that. But the damn thing disappeared. I took my eyes off it, not even a few seconds, and that thing was gone. All up until the point to where I realized my phone wasn't recording. I'm like, "You son of a..." But oh well, what can you do? My wife brings up an article today in Nicole Hurk's murder. Case went cold, so her stepbrother falsely confessed. So we got a poor man here, stepbrother. Of course, this is an adopted child. And the poor guy also committed suicide. And before this murder happened, their mother, her stepmother, committed suicide. Now, the story goes is that he brought up a thing on Facebook and falsely confessed to get the case in her body redug up for DNA testing. Now, mind you, they find 4, let's go over a brief thing on this. And ignored for more than 20 years. Now, this is one of these cases I guarantee you was very poorly investigated. When you hear the end of this, you're going to be blown away by what they friggin' found and caught, mind you. But you're just going to be blown away at the end of this story. And it goes that a disappearance. She was a 15-year-old student staying with her grandmother, and this was in the Netherlands. On October 6th, she left her grandmother's home early in the morning to bike to her job at nearby shopping center. But she never arrived. Police then began search for her, and later that evening discovered her bicycle by a nearby river. Search continued over the next several weeks, but the next clue didn't appear until October 19th, when a backpack was found at the Eindhoven Canal. If I even said that right. Police continue to search the river, canal, and nearby forest multiple times over the next 3 weeks, but to no avail. On November 22nd, 7 weeks after Nicole's disappearance, a passerby stumbled on her body in the woods between two towns of Marlow and Larop. Mirlo and Larop. I can't pronounce them. Not far from her grandmother's home. She had been raped and murdered. Police determined the cause of death was most likely internal bleeding due to stab wounds or wound. So, the police had a few suspects. A local woman named Celine. She claims she knows who did it. The men involved. She had been detained in Miami for drug trafficking and alleged that the men she had been working for had been involved in the murder. Now, why this woman came forth with this, and her claims were flawed and unrelated. In the summer of 1996, authorities briefly arrested victim's stepfather and stepbrother and Ad and Andy, but there was no evidence to link them to the crime. Both were released. There's the stepbrother right there. A reward was offered, but that produced no helpful leads. To make matters worse, number of this is just like the Delphi murders. We have an investigation. They're moving the investigation over to other law enforcement. In this one, they lost investigating team. Over the next few years, leads dried up. Case went cold in 2004. Team briefly reopened the case, but once again failed. So in 2011, this is where the brother comes along, went on Facebook, literally said that he killed his stepsister. He got arrested and found again that there was no evidence other than his own confession to link him to his stepsister's murder. He subsequently released after only 5 days in custody. Shortly afterward, he reacted to his confession. He said that he only confessed in order to draw attention back to his stepsister's case. Then he goes on to say, of course, the plan worked. The body, exhumed the body after DNA relating 3 different men, which were all believed to belong to her stepbrother. So this is insane. 3 traces of DNA from the stepbrother. And her boyfriend at the time of her disappearance, and a 46-year-old former psychiatric patient and convicted rapist named Jose DG. Charges were officially brought against DG for the rape and murder of Nicole Van Den Hurk in 2014. However, the defense immediately called into question the DNA evidence and pointed out that there were 2 other men's DNA on the body as well. They also suggested that it was possible that DG and Van Den Hurk had engaged in consensual sex. Okay. We have a mental patient here. And we have a dead 15-year-old girl. So we got the manslaughter, right? And he was 46-year-old. Convicted rapist. Now they're going to sit there and say this guy had consensual sex with a friggin' minor. which to me is totally insane as this person is. You gotta be out of your mind if you believe this. And later on, he gets acquitted somehow. Of course, you can see his big smile of probably being released of the charges of, murder. And the justice trial dragged on for more than 2 years. Sentences reanalyzed the results and confirmed the DNA from the body belonged to DG beyond a reasonable doubt, but there was no way to prove for sure from this DNA alone that DG had been involved in the murder. Now this is insane. They got the brother's DNA, but yet they have this guy's DNA, who's just only a convicted rapist and found guilty of rape and sentenced to 5 years in prison. So that means that this son of a bitch is out. Now, I'm sure he could have maybe turned a leaf, but you know what? This is sick. This is very sick. And if they literally just said they have DNA on this girl that matches this guy with no reason of a doubt, you want to tell me why this son of a bitch only got rape and not murder? You see, sometimes the justice system is broken. Here we have a freaking person who is caught, convicted, DNA proven. Oh, and I took pictures of something, of another thing, DNA. Once again, here we have DNA used. And why isn't this happening yet with the Delphi murders? They claim they have DNA. And they said it in the beginning that we have your DNA and we're going to catch you. But yet, still, here we are, 5 and so many months later, and there's still nothing. You got all these suspects that has come out. You got all this BS that has come out. You've got this Anthony Snots came out. Now we're going back to the old man there. And now we're going back on another. Jesus. How much more? And then we got the murder scene pictures on that crime. But yet they're as blurry as a friggin' bat while blinded by the light type thing, right? Now we have, and there's another case proven with DNA. And I have to go over another case that I found proven with DNA. I screenshotted that one, so I have to go over that in another video. But proof that this woman, and you got some friggin' nut walking the street, a convicted rapist, and he only gets 5 years, and they're gonna say this guy didn't murder this woman. Now, there could have been 2 other men with him. Hell, there could have been the stepbrother with him, and something went horribly wrong. But all in all, come here. We have this convicted rapist friggin' thing, and he's gonna talk about consensual sex. And of course he's gonna say that because, of course, the girl ain't here to defend herself, let alone the brother. So, I mean, how can you just believe that this friggin' guy had consensual sex? Straight up nut. And that's what I mean about poor investigations, poor police in this case. Now, sometimes they come out good, sometimes they don't come out at all, and sometimes when you have everything there, slap dead right on the table, and they still get it wrong, man. Justice is lost in my eyes, and it's disgusting to see this stuff. They first convicted him, but then they said there's lack of evidence. You know, this lack of evidence bullshit is ridiculous. And then whoever's with that person, in my eyes, and there should be a law change that who's ever last with that person winds up dead, then that's the mother effer that did it. So this guy clearly did it. And I'm sure that girl probably could have put up a fight too. And there's not a lot of stuff on her autopsy either. Just that she was raped. You know, how much more do you need to convict a person when the DNA is on that? I bet you if they do come out with the DNA and the friggin' bridge guy, there's not enough evidence that he didn't kill her, and he'll walk away too. Right? Is that what's going to happen in that case? Not enough evidence, but the DNA is there. That person was there. This person is dead. And they're going to tell, you're going to tell me they just let him go. That's probably what will happen to BG too, man. It's sick. It's disgusting. So, with that being said, DNA is out there, and what good is it if they're not going to properly use it and get that person dead for themselves, for doing a crime, for doing that crime? It's sick, people. It's sick. But until the next video, be safe, take care, always beware, because these sickos are still out there doing everything they possibly can to do their rotten deeds and get away with it scot-free. Effing sick. Out.